A brief foreword from the narrator. The story you are about to listen to is known as My Immortal by Tara Gillesbie. It follows the adventures of Ebony, Darkness, Dementia, Ravenway as she journeys through Hogwarts, solving problems and kissing boys in the most gothic ways possible. Before we continue, we must bring up a content warning, however. The following story will feature sexual themes, themes of self-harm, ableism, foul language, and language that was considered okay in the mid-2000s. It is a product of its time, after all. Viewer discretion is advised, and it is recommended that the audience be 18 or older before listening to the content of this story. I am not your dad, however, so I don't give a damn. Let us continue. Author's note. Special thanks, get it, 'cause I'm gothic, to my GF. Ew, not in that way, Raven, Bloody Tears 666, for helping me with the story and spelling. Ooh rock, Justin or the love of my depersing life. Ooh rock 2, MCR rocks. Hi, my name is Ebony Darkness Dementia Ravenway, and I have long ebony black hair. That's how I got my name, with purple streaks and red tips that reaches my mid-back, and icy blue eyes like limpid tears. And a lot of people tell me I look like Amy Lee. Author's note, if you don't know who she is, get the hell out of here. I'm not related to Gerard Way, but I wish I was, because he's a major fucking hottie. I'm a vampire, but my teeth are straight and white. I have pale white skin. I'm also a witch, and I go to a magic school called Hogwarts in England, where I'm in the 7th year. I'm 17. I'm a goth, in case you couldn't tell, and I wear mostly black. I love Hot Topic, and buy all my clothes from there. For example, today I was wearing a black corset with matching lace around it, and a black leather miniskirt, pink fishnets, and black combat boots. I was wearing black lipstick, white foundation, black eyeliner, and red eyeshadow. I was walking outside Hogwarts. It was snowing and raining, so there was no sun, which I was very happy about. A lot of preps stared at me. I put up my middle finger at them. "Hey, Ebony," shouted a voice. I looked up. It was Draco Malfoy. "What's up, Draco?" I asked. "Nothing," he said shyly. But then I heard my friends call me, and I had to go away. Author's note. Is it good? Pulls tell me. Fangs. Chapter 2. Author's note. Thanks to Bloody Tears 666 for helping me with the chapter. But preps stop flaming my story, okay? The next day I woke up in my bedroom. It was snowing and raining again. I opened the door of my coffin and drank some blood from a bottle I had. My coffin was black ebony, and inside it was hot pink velvet with black lace on the ends. I got out of my coffin and took of my giant MCR t-shirt, which I used for pajamas. Instead, I put on a black leather dress, a pentagram necklace, combat boots, and black fishnets on. I put on 4 pairs of earrings and my pierced ears, and put my hair in a kind of messy bun. My friend Willow, author's note, Raven, this is ooh, woke up and then grinned at me. She flipped her long waist-length raven black hair with pink streaks and opened her forest green eyes. She put on her Marilyn Manson t-shirt with a black mini, fishnets, and pointy high-heeled boots. We put on our makeup, black lipstick, white foundation, and black eyeliner. "MFG, I saw you talking to Draco Malfoy yesterday," she said excitedly. "Yeah, so," I said, blushing. "Do you like Draco?" she asked as we went out of the Slytherin common room and into the great hall. "No, I so fucking don't," I shouted. "Yeah, right," she exclaimed. Just then, Draco walked up to me. "Hi," he said. "Hi," I replied flirtily. "Guess what?" he said. "What?" I asked. "Well, Good Charlotte are having a concert in Hogsmeade," he told me. "Oh my fucking God," I screamed. "I love GC, and they are my favorite band, besides MCR. "Well, do you want to go with me?" he asked. I gasped. Chapter 3. Author's note. Stop flaming the story, preps, okay? Otherwise, fangs to the gothic pupil for the good reviews. Fangs again, Raven. Oh yeah, BTW. I don't own dis or the lyrics for good Charlotte. On the night of the concert, I put on my black lace-up boots with high heels. Underneath them were ripped red fishnets. Then I put on a black leather mini dress with all this corset stuff on the back and front. I put on matching fishnets on my arms. I straightened my hair and made it look all spiky. I felt a little depressed then, so I slit one of my wrists. I read a depressing book while I waited for it to stop bleeding, and I listened to some GC. I painted my nails black and put on tons of black eyeliner. Then I put on some black lipstick. I didn't put on foundation because I was pale anyway. I drank some human blood, so I was ready to go to the concert. I went outside. Draco was waiting there in front of his flying car. He was wearing a Simple Plan t-shirt. They would play at the show too. Baggy black skater pants, black nail polish, and a little eyeliner. Author's note, a lot fo cool boys were it, okay? Hi, Draco, I said in a depressed voice. Hi, Ebony, he said back. We walked into his flying black Mercedes-Benz. The license plate said 666, and flew to the place with the concert. On the way, we listened excitedly to Good Charlotte and Marilyn Manson. We both smoked cigarettes and drugs. When we got there, we both hopped out of the car. We went to the mosh pit at the front of the stage and jumped up and down as we listened to Good Charlotte. You come in cold, you're covered in blood. They're all so happy you've arrived. The doctor cuts your cord, hands you to your mom. She sets you free into this life. Sang Joel, I don't own the lyrics to that song. Joel is so fucking hot, I said to Draco, pointing to him as he sung, filling the club with his amazing voice. Suddenly, Draco looked sad. What's wrong? I asked as we moshed to the music. Then I caught on. Hey, it's okay. I don't like him better than you, I said. Really? Asked Draco sensitively, and he put his arm around me all protective. Really, I said. Besides, I don't even know Joel, and he's going out with Hillary fucking Duff. I fucking hate that little bitch, I said disgustedly, thinking of her ugly blonde face. The night went on really well, and I had a great time. So did Draco. After the concert, we drank some beer and asked Benji and Joel for their autographs and photos with them. We got GC concert tees. Draco and I crawled back into the Mercedes-Benz, but Draco didn't go back into Hogwarts. Instead, he drove the car into the Forbidden Forest. Chapter 4. Author's note. I said stop flaming, okay? Ebony's name is Enoby, not Mary Sue, okay? Draco is so in love with her that he is acting different. They knew each other before, okay? Draco, I shouted, what the fuck do you think you're doing? Draco didn't answer, but he stopped flying the car and he walked out of it. I walked out of it too, curiously. What the fucking hell? I asked angrily. Ebony, he asked. What? I snapped. Draco leaned in extra close and I looked into his gothic red eyes. He was wearing color contacts, which revealed so much depressing sorrow and evilness, and then suddenly I didn't feel mad anymore. And then... Suddenly, just as Draco kissed me passionately. Draco climbed on top of me and we started to make out keenly against a tree. He took of my top and I took of his clothes. I even took of my bra. Then he put his thingy into my you-know-what and we did it for the first time. Oh, 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 I screamed. I was beginning to get an orgasm. We started to kiss everywhere and my pale body became all warm. And then... What the hell are you doing, you motherfuckers? It was... Dumbledore. Chapter 5. Author's note. Stop flaming. If you can flam, it means you're a prep or a passer. The only reason Dumbledore swore is because he had a headache. Okay, and on top of that, he was mad at them for having sex. Psst, I'm not updating until I get 5 good reviews. Dumbledore made and Draco and I follow him. He kept shouting at us angrily. You ludicrous fools, he shouted. I started to cry tears of blood down my pallid face. Draco comforted me when we went back to the castle. Dumbledore took us to Professor Snape and Professor McGonagall, who were both looking very angry. They were having sexual intercourse in the Forbidden Forest, he yelled in a furious voice. Why did you do such a thing, you mediocre dunces? Asked Professor McGonagall. How dare you? Demanded Professor Snape. And then Draco shrieked, Because I love her. Everyone was quiet. Dumbledore and Professor McGonagall still looked mad, but Professor Snape said, Fine, very well, you may go up to your rooms. Draco and I went upstairs while the teachers glared at us. Are you okay, Ebony? Draco asked me gently. Yeah, I guess. I lied. I went into the girls' dorm and brushed my teeth and my hair and changed into a low-cut black floor-length dress with red lace all around it and black high heels. When I came out, Draco was standing in front of the bathroom, and he started to sing I Just Want to Live by Good Charlotte. I was so flattered even though he wasn't supposed to be there. We hugged and kissed. After that, we said goodnight, and he reluctantly went back into his room. Chapter 6. Author's note. Shit up preps, okay? Ps would not update up till you give me good revows. The next day, I woke up in my coffin. I put on a black miniskirt that was all ripped around the end and a matching top with red skulls all over it, and high-heeled boots that were black. I put on 2 pairs of skull earrings and 2 crosses in my ears. I spray-painted my hair with purple. In the Great Hall, I ate some Count Chocula cereal with blood instead of milk, and a glass of red blood. Suddenly, someone bumped into me. All the blood spilled over my top. Bastard, I shouted angrily. I regretted saying it when I looked up because I was looking into the pale white face of a gothic boy with spiky black hair with red streaks in it. He was wearing so much eyeliner that I was going down his face, and he was wearing black lipstick. He didn't have glasses anymore, and now he was wearing red contact lenses just like Draco's. And there was no scar on his forehead anymore. He had a manly stubble on his chin. He had a sexy English accent. He looked exactly like Joel Madden. He was so sexy that my body went all hot when I saw him. Kind of like an erection, only I'm a girl, so I don't get that, you sicko. I'm sorry, he said in a shy voice. That's all right. What's your name? I questioned. My name's Harry Potter, although most people call me Vampire these days, he grumbled. Why? I exclaimed. Because I love the taste of human blood, he giggled. Well, I'm a vampire, I confessed. Really? He whimpered. Yeah, I roared. We sat down to talk for a while. Then Draco came up behind me and told me he had a surprise for me, so I went away with him. Chapter 7. Bring Me to Life. Author's note. Well, okay, you guys, I'm only written this because I got 5 God reviewers, but I won't write the next chapter till I get 10 God vons. Stow, flaming, or ill report you. Ebony isn't a Mary Sue, okay? She isn't perfect. She's a satinitz. She has problems. She's depressed, for God's sake. Draco and I held our pale white hands with black nail polish as we went upstairs. I was wearing a red Satanist sings on my nails and red nail polish. Author's note. See, does that sound like a Mary Sue to you? I waved to Vampire. Dark misery was in his depressed eyes. I guess he was jealous of me that I was going out with Draco. Anyway, I went upstairs excitedly with Draco. We went into his room and locked the door. Then we started Frenching passively, and we took off each other's clothes enthusiastically. He felt me up before I took off my top. Then I took off my black leather bra, and he took off his pants. We went into the bed and started making out naked, and then he put his boy's thingy in mine, and we had sex. See, is that stupid? Oh, Draco, Draco, I screamed while getting an orgasm when all of a sudden I saw a tattoo I had never seen before on Draco's arm. It was a black heart with an arrow through it. On it in bloody Gothic writing were the words, Vampire. I was so angry. You bastard, I shouted angrily, jumping out of the bed. No, but you don't understand, Draco pleaded, but I knew too much. No, you fucking idiot, I shouted. You probably have AIDS anyway. I put on my clothes all huffily, then stomped out. Draco ran out even though he was naked. He had a really big you-know-what, but I was too mad to care. I stomped out and did so until I was in Vampire's classroom where he was having a lesson with Professor Snape and some other people. Vampire Potter, you motherfucker, I yelled. Chapter 8. Author's note. Stop flashing, okay? If you do, then you are a prep. Everyone in the class stared at me, and then Draco came into the room even though he was naked and started begging me to take him back. "Ebony, it's not what you think," Draco screamed sadly. My friend Bloody Mary Smith smiled at me understatedly. She flipped her long waist-length gothic black hair and opened her crimson eyes like blood, and she was wearing contact lenses on. She had pale white skin that she was wearing white makeup on. Hermione was kidnapped when she was born. Her real parents are vampires, and one of them is a witch, but Voldemort killed her mother, and then her father committed suicide because he was depressed about it. She still has nightmares about it, and she is very haunted and depressed. It also turns out her last name is Smith, not Granger. Since she converted to Satanism, she is in Slytherin now, not Gryffindor. "What is it that you desire, you ridiculous dimwit?" Snape demeaned angrily in his cold voice, but I ignored him. "Vampire, I can't believe you cheated on me with Draco," I shouted at him. Everyone gasped. I don't know why Ebony was so mad at me. I had went out with Vampire, I'm bi and so is Ebony, for a while, but then he broke my heart. He dumped me because he liked Brittany, a stupid preppy fucker. We were just good friends now. He had gone through horrible problems and now he was gothic. Ha ha, like I would hang out with a prep. "But I'm not going out with Draco anymore," said Vampire. "Yeah, fucking right. Fuck off, you bastard," I screamed. I ran out of the room and into the Forbidden Forest, where I had lost my virility to Draco. And then I started to bust into tears. Chapter 9. Author's note. Stop flaming, okay? I didn't read all the books. This is from the movie, okay? It's not my fault if Dumbledore swears. Besweezed, I said he had a headache, and for the reason Snap doesn't like Harry now is because he's Christian and Vampire is a Satanist. MCR rocks. I was so mad and sad I couldn't believe Draco for cheating on me. I began to cry against the tree where I did it with Draco. Then, all of a sudden, an horrible man with red eyes and no nose and everything started flying towards me on a broomstick. He didn't have a nose, basically like Voldemort in the movie, and he was wearing all black, but it was obvious he wasn't gothic. It was Voldemort. "No," I shouted in a scared voice, but then Voldemort shouted, "Imperious!" and I couldn't run away. "Crookshanks!" I shouted at him. Voldemort fell off his broom and started to scream. I felt bad for him, even though he's a sadist, so I stopped. "Ebony," he yelled, "thou must kill Vampire Potter." I thought about Vampire and his sex eyes and his gothic black hair and how his face looks like Joel Madden. So I thought, what if Draco went out with Vampire before I went out with him and they broke up? "No, Voldemort," I shouted back. Voldemort gave me a gun. "No, please," I begged. "Thou must," he yelled. "If thou does not, then I shall kill thy beloved Draco." "How did you know?" I asked in a surprised way. Voldemort got a "dude, you're so" look on his face. "I hath telekinesis," he answered cruelly. "And if you doth not kill Vampire, then thou know what will happen to Draco," he shouted. Then he flew away angrily on his broomstick. I was so scared and mad I didn't know what to do. Suddenly, Draco came into the woods. "Draco," I said. "Hi." "Hi," he said back, but his face was all sad. He was wearing white foundation and messy eyeliner, kind of like a pentagram, get it, between Joel Madden and Gerard Way. "Are you okay?" I asked. "No," he answered. "I'm sorry I got all mad at you, but I thought you cheated on me," I expelled. "That's okay," he said, all depressed, and we went back into Hogwarts together making out. Chapter 10. Author's note. Stop it, you not saying that. If you do not like my story, then fuck off, please. P.S. It turns out Bloody Mary isn't a muggle after all, and she and Vampire are evil, that's why they moved houses, okay? I was really scared about Voldemort all day. I was even upset went to rehearsals with my gothic metal band, Bloody Gothic Rose 666. I am the lead singer of it, and I play guitar. People say that we sound like a cross between GC, Slipknot, and MCR. The other people in the band are Bloody Mary, Vampire, Draco, Ron, although we call him Diabolo now. He has black hair now with blue streaks in it, and Hargrid. Only today, Draco and Vampire were depressed, so they weren't coming and we wrote songs instead. I knew Draco was probably slitting his wrists. He wouldn't die because he was a vampire or two, and the only way to kill a vampire is with a CROSS. There's no way I'm writing that, or a steak. And Vampire was probably watching a depressing movie like The Corpse Bride. I put on a black leather shirt that showed off my boobs and a tiny matching miniskirt that said Simple Plan on the butt. You might think I'm a slut, but I'm really not. We were singing a cover of Helena, and at the end of the song I suddenly burst into tears. "Ebony, are you okay?" Bloody Mary asked in a concerted voice. "What the fuck do you think?" I asked angrily, and then I said, "Well, Voldemort came and the fucking bastard told me to fucking kill Harry, but I don't want to kill him because he's really nice, and even if he did go out with Draco. But if I don't kill Harry, then Voldemort will fucking kill Draco." I burst into tears. Suddenly, Draco jumped out from behind a wall. "Why didn't you fucking tell me?" he shouted. "How could you fucking pose a muggle, bitch. See, is Dad out of character?" I started to cry and cry. Draco started to cry too, all sensitive. Then he ran out crying. We practiced for 1 more hour. Then suddenly Dumbledore walked in angrily. His eyes were all fiery, and I knew this time it wasn't because he had a headache. "What have you done?" He started to cry wisely. "See, that's basically not swearing, and this time he was really upset, and you will see why." "Ebony, Draco has been found in his room. He committed suicide by slitting his wrists." Chapter 11. Author's note. I said stop flaming up, preps. See if this chapter is stupid. 1111. It deals with rulus isis SPC4 herself if it's stupid. Bruh. Thanks to my friend Raven for slapping me. "No," I screamed. I was horrified. Bloody Mary tried to comfort me, but I told her to fuck off, and I ran to my room crying myself. Dumbledore chased me after shouting, but he had to stop when I went into my room because he would look like a perv that way. Anyway, I started crying tears of blood and then slit both of my wrists. They got all over my clothes, so I took them off and jumped into the bath angrily while I put on a Linkin Park song at full volume. I grabbed a stake and almost stuck it into my heart to commit suicide. I was so fucking depressed. I got out of the bathtub and put on a black low-cut dress with lace all over it sandily. I put on black high heels with pink metal stuff on the ends and 6 pairs of skull earrings. I couldn't fucking believe it. Then I looked out the window and screamed. Snap was spying on me, and he was taking a videotape of me, and Lupin was masticating to it. They were sitting on their broomsticks. "Ew, you fucking pervs! Stop looking at me naked. Are you pedos or what?" I screamed, putting on a black towel with a picture of Marilyn Manson on it. Suddenly, Vampire ran in. "Abracadabra!" he yelled at Snape and Lupin, pointing his womb. I took my gun and shot Snape and Lupin a gazillion times, and they both started screaming, and the camera broke. Suddenly, Dumbledore ran in. "Ebony, it has been revealed to me that someone has—" "No!" he shouted, looking at Snape and Lupin, and then he waved his wand, and suddenly, Hagrid ran outside on his broom and said, "Everyone, we need to talk." "What do you know, Hagrid? You're just a little Hogwarts student." "I may be a Hogwarts student," Hagrid paused angrily, "but I am also a Satanist." "This cannot be," Snape said in a crisp voice as blood dripped from his hand where Dumbledore's wand had shot him. "There must be other factors." "You don't have any," I yelled in madly. Lupin held up the camera triumphantly. "The lens may be ruined, but the tape is still there." I felt faint more than I normally do, like how it feels when you do not drink enough blood. "Why are you doing this?" Lupin said angrily while he rubbed his dirty hands on his cloak. And then I heard the word that I had heard before, but not from him. I did not know whether to feel shocked and happy or to bite him and drink his blood because I felt faint. Because, Hagrid said, and he paused in the air dramatically and waved his wand in the air. Then swooped he in singing to the tune of a gothic version of a song by 50 Cent. Because you're gothic? Snape asked in a little afraid voice, because he was afraid it meant he was connected with Satan. Because I love her.